Good evening. This regular meeting of September 14th, 2020 of the Dubuque Community School District Board of Education is called to order. Our mission is to develop world-class learners and citizens of character in a safe and inclusive learning community. Roll call, please.
Bradley.
Here.
Donahue.
Here.
Parks.
Here.
Prohaska.
Here.
Ryan.
Here.
Sansi.
Here.
Whitman.
Here. And we get to lead ourselves in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I move the Board of Education approve the agenda as submitted.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded to approve the agenda as submitted. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
Aye.
That motion carries.
I move that the Board of Education approve the minutes of the regular meeting on August 10th, 2020 as submitted.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded that the Board of Education approve the minutes of the regular meeting on August 10th, 2020 as submitted. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. And we have board salutes. Mr. Sansi, I believe you have one.
Yes, I do. A board salute goes to the organizations and individuals who have donated masks for the district to provide for students who need them. In particular, Premier Bank and Tri-State Medical Masks has each donated hundreds of masks to the district in a variety of sizes, as did the community member Cindy Beach. Through these donations, schools are able to provide these masks to students as needed should they forget one if they are in need of any extra one. We know that wearing of mask covering is an important part of our health and safety guidelines this school year, and we are thankful to those organizations and individuals for their support and for their ongoing efforts. So thank you to those organizations and that individual.
Thank you. Mr. Prohaska.
Yeah, I have a board salute. It's kind of just a little bit repetitive, but just another shout out to our Dubuque Community School District team of employees in these challenging and unprecedented times. Thank you to our superintendent, our administrative team, building principals, counselors, teachers, paras, custodians, bus drivers, food service workers, especially to our parents, and lastly, our students. Their acceptance of our plans and cooperation during this extra mile is truly appreciated. So thank you very much.
Great. Thank you. Okay, visitors in open forum.
I move the Board of Education suspend the rules of order and go into open forum.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded that the Board of Education suspend the rules of order and go into open forum. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries.
If there are any individuals who are on the Zoom session who wish to address the board during this time, if you could please use the raise hand feature in Zoom. Seeing none.
Okay.
Then I move the Board of Education reinstate the rules of order and return to a regular session.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded that the Board of Education reinstate the rules of order and return to regular session. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. Nancy, you are on mute, just so you are aware. All right.
Got it.
Thank you. Yep. All right.
I move the Board of Education approve those items listed on the consent agenda.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded that the Board of Education approve those items listed in the consent agenda. Are there any items any board members wish to have pulled? There being none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? That motion carries. And that takes us to our facilities report. Mr. Prohaska.
Yes, in addition to some of the motions I'm going to make here, We were presented with some renewal of professional services contracts. We had an update on some district projects. The Alta Vista campus building, which will be ready about a month earlier than originally planned. We had an update on the Hempstead parking lot expansion. We also had a report that the Hempstead underground geothermal vault is replaced, that the Irving Elementary School water improvements are complete. We had an update from Synergistic. We reviewed the facility rental fees and the transportation pay ride fees. And I think from there now, I'll just make a couple motions. We had a young man came to us by the name of Boris Miller, and as part of his Eagle Scout project, he is going to donate a Gaga pit for the Audubon School. He gave a very nice presentation. I was impressed to hear that it's going to be handicap accessible, and I believe it's going to be in school colors. So I move that the Board of Education approve the donation from Boris Miller, Eagle Scout, in the estimated value of $600 for a Gaga ball pit for Audubon Elementary School.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded that the Board of Education approve the donation from Boris Miller, Eagle Scout, in the estimated value of $600 for a Gaga ball pit for Audubon Elementary School. Is there any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? That motion carries.
Next, I move that the Board of Education approve the final acceptance of the Hempstead High School Serving Kitchen Equipment Replacement Project and authorize payment of final project cost to Portson Construction, Inc. in the amount of $14,050 in accordance with the requirements of Iowa law and is fully outlined in the submitted authorizing resolution.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded that the Board of Education approve final acceptance of the Hempstead High School Serving Kitchen Equipment Replacement Project and authorize payment of the final project cost to Portson Construction, Inc. in the amount of $14,050 in accordance with the requirements of Iowa law and as more fully outlined in the submitted authorizing resolution. Is there any discussion?
I understand that all the new kitchen equipment is up and running fairly well.
Yep.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? That motion carries.
I move that the Board of Education approve the request from Portson Construction, Inc. for the early release of retained funds in the amount of $14,050 on the Hempstead High School Serving Kitchen Equipment Replacement Project in accordance with the requirements of Iowa law and is more fully outlined in the submitted authorizing resolution.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded that the Board of Education approve the request from Portson Construction, Inc. for early release of retained funds in the amount of $14,050 on the Hempstead High School Serving Kitchen Equipment Replacement Project in accordance with the requirements of Iowa law and is more fully outlined in the submitted authorizing resolution. Is there any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? The motion carries.
I move that the Board of Education approve the design development budget of $33,858,508 for the senior high school renovation Phase 2 as outlined in September 8th committee meeting. Overall project cost summary prepared by Straka Johnson Architects, PC.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded that the Board of Education approve the design development budget of $33,858,508 for the senior high school renovation Phase 2 as outlined in the September 8th, 2020 meeting. Overall project cost summary prepared by Straka Johnson Architects, PC. Is there any discussion?
We were pleased to hear the report from Mr. Kelleher that our financial advisor allowed us to move in this direction.
I really think it is Phase 2 and the completing phase of senior. So when this phase is done, senior will be fully fully renovated. So
Right.
it is nice to do it in 2 phases as opposed to earlier on, we talked about a 3 or 4 phase project. So when it's done, so it was good to have those extra dollars available to finalize the things that needed to be done to make it.
And I might add that, a lot of its portion of this Phase 2 is for the fine arts the performance, physical education and weight room, and also the mechanical, plumbing, electrical, climate control, et cetera.
And it will touch every classroom that wasn't touched
Yep.
in phase one. Now, some of them mostly cosmetic is all that they need, of course, except for the climate control, which they'll look forward to having in every classroom.
Great.
All those in favor signify by
Will
saying.
also-
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Nancy.
I was just going to say, in addition to what Mr. Prohaska listed, I believe there's a substantial improvement to the industrial tech area, which will be great.
That is correct.
Okay.
Maybe you mentioned that, Jim. I'm sorry.
I did not. Thank you for mentioning that, Nancy.
Okay. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All right.
Any opposed? That motion carries.
I move that the Board of Education approve the amendment to the agreement with Straka Johnson Architects, P.C. for the senior high school renovation Phase 2 in the amount of $408,423.
Second.
It has been moved.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded that the Board of Education approve the amendment to agreement with Straka Johnson Architects, P.C. for the senior high school renovation Phase 2 in the amount of $408,423. Is there any discussion?
I would just like to add that part of this amendment is due to some consultants, particularly in regard to the auditorium. And as we originally had stated, we want to make sure when we do this auditorium that we do it upright. So we are glad that we can enlist these consultants to help us out, help the architects out, I guess.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries.
I move that the Board of Education approve the resolution offering for sale by public bid a 2011 Ford Escape and set the date, time, and place for possible public hearing as October 12th, 2020 at 5:30 at the Dubuque Community School District.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded that the Board of Education approve the resolution offering for sale by public bid a 2011 Ford Escape and set the date, time, and place for possible public hearing as October 12th, 2020 at 5:30 p.m. at the Dubuque Community School District. Is there any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? That motion carries.
And the last motion I have is I move that the Board of Education approve the adjustment to the facility rental permit fees as presented.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded that the Board of Education approve the adjustment of facility rental fee permits as presented. Is there any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Any opposed? That motion carries. All right, thank you, Mr. Prohaska. Educational Programs and Policy Committee report. Ms. Whitman.
Okay, Superintendent Stan Reingans presented an update on the district's Return to Learn plan. Our district is currently operating on a hybrid model, meaning every other day for students, or for those students that are attending in person, and the other offer is a fully online option that parents could choose from. Going fully online for all students right now is not an option, as our COVID numbers are not high enough to warrant, everyone going online. Those districts that are fully online have asked for court rulings. The court has ruled that those days will not count toward the required hours of instruction. So we'll continue on with our hybrid as the numbers stay low for the COVID cases, and I believe things are going quite well. To give you an example of the online learning, in the elementary level, they're led by district teachers. Classes include students from multiple schools, and the class sizes range from 17 to 31. And the secondary level, we have Edgenuity coursework. Students have district teachers as advisors. We have 6 middle school advisors and 10 high school advisors. Each advisor works with approximately 100 students. And these are separate teachers and instructors than the ones that are in-person classroom teachers. At this time, we have 76% of our students on the hybrid option, and 24% have chosen fully online. Stan, do you have anything else to offer?
No,
Any
just
updates?
that some of those, as you mentioned, we were running two very separate systems, and the teachers and the principals are doing a fantastic job of making sure our students are served. We are looking at those class sizes. Know that we have had some migration from the fully online to the hybrid. As we get into our fourth week, we have some parents who have decided that the hybrid option is A, safe, and B, maybe a good place for their kids to be, but we are having a lot of success on the online as well. We're not sure how long. That's the most common question I get is how long will we be in this model versus having everybody back at school, and that really depends a lot on what happens in the community as well as within the school district. Going the other direction, as you mentioned, to a fully online model is still possible, but only possible when our community and district numbers increase to the point that it's allowed by the state. So at 15%, we could ask to go online for 2 weeks. At 20%, we could ask for a lengthier period of time. Hopefully, we will never see numbers that high, but also knowing we had talked earlier about should we choose a different metric and maybe a lower number because those numbers are high compared to numbers in other states and some of the recommendations that are out there. But it was clear with the court cases that if a school district moves to fully online without the Department of Ed and the state's approval, that those days simply don't count and will have to be made up next year. Obviously, providing an online education now and an in-person education later doubles up on the cost in your budget, and our budget is pretty much, there aren't any school districts whose budget could afford to duplicate services for any length of time. So not impossible we would go fully online, but only probably once we've met the metrics of the state, and that's 15% county positivity rate and 10% of attendance, or 10% of our students not in attendance, and so we're a long ways from those numbers.
We do appreciate the board does all the extra efforts, the teachers online and the teachers in the classroom
They're
that
doing a
are
great
putting out
job.
there. It's a lot of extra work that they didn't sign up for when they were teaching last year. So we appreciate it, and like you said, we don't know how long this is going to last. So far, pretty good feedback from the students with their experiences. So
Yeah, I would say overall very good feedback. Some areas of improvement and things change. Every week we learn something new and we get better. So that's certainly always our goal. And our teachers, I can't say enough about teachers who really shifted gears in a number of weeks, completely doing something, doing it completely differently than they've done in the past. And we have teachers who are first-year teachers who are doing fantastic. We have teachers who have been with us more than 30 years who are doing a fantastic job. So they've been flexible, they've been stressed, it wasn't easy.
Right.
But they're getting better all the time, and you just can't say enough about their professionalism and their work ethic, and they're just really making it happen.
Stan, one of the things that I think going in we expected would be an issue would be just the lack of social interaction, particularly with our younger grades, and the impact that has both on learning and development. I know it's only been 3.5 weeks or so. Are you getting any feedback from teachers? Because I know they are modifying in many cases the frequency in which they're touching base with these kids that are, particularly on off days. But
Yeah, it's certainly a central focus of what our teachers are doing, both the students in the hybrid and the students who are online. Education at its heart is a relationship. And without the relationship, we just can't impactfully teach students. And so really working on that between the teacher and the student, but then of course student to student is the next piece. So we've started off pretty restrictive, but we're working towards a day. I had an email today, a parent asking about recess, and she's asking the right questions. Hey, when are my kids going to be able to interact with somebody else at recess, and could we do that, in a way that makes sense or limited? So we're looking at those things because we obviously want our students to come to school, be safe, but also to enjoy the experience and look forward to coming back the next day or the next day of the third session. So, I appreciate those recommendations or those thoughts from parents, and we're certainly looking at that. But we did start pretty, tight, and it's easier to do that, get kids in good practice about social distancing and masks, and then, let off a little bit as it makes sense to give kids more interaction. But it's certainly in the next steps for us to do is make sure kids can interact with each other as well as their staff member and enjoy the experience.
Thanks.
Does anyone else have anything?
I think Nancy.
This afternoon, when I was thinking forward to this meeting, I was thinking about having lived in this community most of my life and having worked in the district for 47 years, and how proud I am of the district and how grateful I am to live in this community. When you really look at the collaboration and the teaming that's gone together in this incredible and amazing time. I mean, there couldn't be enough preparation for this time. There couldn't be enough flexibility, and it's all so vivid. As board members, we get to see interesting glimpses of things going on in the district and the way the district and the community interface, and the collaboration and the teaming and the offers of support and the good humor, the grace under pressure people are giving themselves, giving each other. There's a dedication to the kids and their learning, and a dedication to excellence and high quality that is playing out in such an observable way in this crazy time. I just think it's an amazing time, and it's an amazing team. And aren't we blessed to have the staff and the community that we have working all together to make this the best it can be for the kids that we serve. So just a personal reflection there that I think I just am so grateful and so proud of everybody involved.
Thank you, Nancy. Also in our meeting, we updated 6 policies, and Mimi Holsinger also presented to us the Dubuque Community School District Sexual Harassment and Procedure Manual. So we went through that. And that was it.
Great, thank you. All right, under new business, I do have a proclamation on attendance that I guess we can have a motion and then I will read it.
I move that the Board of Education approve the Attendance Awareness Month proclamation.
Second.
And here we go. Whereas good attendance is even more essential to student achievement and graduation because of the lost opportunities of learning that have occurred as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic, and whereas promoting attendance requires noticing as soon as possible when students are starting to miss too much school in order to identify and offer needed support and early intervention resources, and whereas ensuring an equal opportunity to learn requires using data to detect inequitable patterns of absenteeism by school, grade, and student population, and whereas research conducted prior to COVID-19 indicates that monitoring when students miss 10% of learning opportunities in a month or multiple days in a week can help to identify students and families, as well as schools, in need of outreach and additional support. Whereas improving attendance and reducing absenteeism takes schools, families, and community partners working together to identify and address factors contributing to students missing school, and whereas reducing absenteeism requires taking a public health approach that begins with prevention and early intervention and adopting trauma-informed approaches rather than responding with punitive action. Therefore, I, Tammy Ryan, on behalf of the Dubuque Community School District Board of Education, do hereby proclaim September 2020 as Attendance Awareness Month. We hereby commit to focusing on reducing chronic absenteeism to give all children an equitable opportunity to learn, grow, and thrive academically, emotionally, and socially. Signed on this day. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. Are there any other board member or administrative issues?
I guess I have one if there are no board issues. So just a real quick update on our dashboard. So you know that the district has been reporting on our dashboard the number of student and staff cases. We have shifted the time a little bit. We haven't put any time on the dashboard intentionally because each day is a little different and we get cases in the morning. Our head nurse, Allie White, goes through and talks with the Visiting Nurses Association every morning at 9:30 to clarify cases. And we really spent a lot of time making sure that that is 100% accurate. So we know that the numbers on that dashboard are coming from a confirmed positive case through a healthcare provider or the VNA, and usually both. And sometimes we even beat the VNA to knowing about the test because we hear about it and call them. So everything is checked, double checked, triple checked. Amy and Allie spend a significant part of their time each day making sure it is accurate because we know that our parents are relying on that to make good decisions about their kids. And so I just want to warn people that if you hear rumors and I see them, oh, there's 8 cases at Prescott, or there's this number. If it's not on the dashboard, it is not a verified case. And sometimes people will call and say, well, I heard so and so, or I heard this person say, well, that's not what we're reporting, and we can't report that. We're reporting verified numbers. So our numbers are extremely accurate. I would put our numbers up against anyone providing numbers in the state, as far as the 10,000 people that are reflected on that dashboard. So, and I would also make sure you take a look at that dashboard and the total number of people represented there. So you have to look at the number of cases, the total number of people out of the 10,000 potential cases. So I do feel good about where we're at. I'm worried about the trajectory within the county. And what that may mean for us in coming days from our students and our staff. But I feel that the first step is always having accurate data, and we do have accurate data, and it is triple checked before it gets changed. So I started off by saying that we had been updating about 11. Now we're doing it closer to 3 o'clock, just because we want to make sure everything is accurate. So some people saw that change in time and I think maybe panicked a little bit saying, when do I from 11 to 3? Well, it's just from an accuracy standpoint. So nothing more than just making sure we have the time to run down every single case and make sure it is accurate before it goes on our website, so that families and staff members know that when they look at that, that is accurate. Again, I'll put that data up against any other data you can find anywhere for accuracy. And that's really thanks to Amy and to Allie, who's not here tonight. They spent a lot of time on that, and a lot of time on the weekends, backtracking that.
Great. Is there anything else? Okay, there being none, we are adjourned.